book of Leviticus, chapter 7. And this is the law of the trespass offering. It is most holy. In the place where they kill the burnt offering shall they kill the trespass offering, and the blood thereof shall he sprinkle upon the altar round about. And he shall offer of it all the fat thereof, the fat tail, and the fat that covereth it inwards, and the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is on them, which is by the loins, and the caul upon the liver with the kidneys, shall he take away. And the priest shall burn them upon the altar for an offering made by fire unto Jehovah. It is a trespass offering. Every male among the priests shall eat thereof. It shall be eaten in a holy place. It is most holy. As is the sign offering, so is the trespass offering. There is one law for them. The priest that maketh atonement therewith, he shall have it. And the priest that offereth any man's burnt offering, even the priest, shall have to himself the skin of the burnt offering which he hath offered. And every meal offering that is baken in the oven, and all that is dressed in the frying pan, and on the baking pan, shall be the priest's that offereth it. And every meal offering mingled with oil or dry shall all the sons of Aaron have, one as well as another. And this is the law of the sacrifice of peace offerings, which one shall offer unto Jehovah. If he offer it for a thanksgiving, then he shall offer with the sacrifice of thanksgiving unleavened cakes mingled with oil, and unleavened wafers anointed with oil, and cakes mingled with oil, of fine flour soaked. With cakes of leavened bread he shall offer his oblation with the sacrifice of his peace offerings for thanksgiving. And of it he shall offer one out of each oblation for a heavy offering unto Jehovah. It shall be the priest that sprinkleth the blood of the peace offerings, and the flesh of the sacrifice of his peace offerings for thanksgiving shall be eaten on the day of his oblation. He shall not leave any of it until the morning. Or a freewill offering, it shall be eaten on the day that he offereth his sacrifice. And on the morrow that which remaineth of it shall be eaten. But that which remaineth of the flesh of the sacrifice on the 3rd day shall be burnt with fire. And if any of the flesh of the sacrifice of his peace offerings be eaten on the 3rd day, it shall not be accepted, neither shall it be imputed unto him that offereth it. It shall be an abomination, and the soul that eateth of it shall bear his iniquity. And the flesh that toucheth any unclean thing shall not be eaten, it shall be burnt with fire. And as for the flesh, every one that is clean shall eat thereof. But the soul that eateth of the flesh of the sacrifice of peace offerings that pertain unto Jehovah, having his uncleanness upon him, that soul shall be cut off from his people. And when anyone shall touch any unclean thing, the uncleanness of man, or an unclean beast, or any unclean abomination, and eat of the flesh of the sacrifice of peace offerings, which pertain unto Jehovah, that soul shall be cut off from his people. And Jehovah spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, Ye shall eat no fat of ox or sheep or goat, and the fat of that which is torn of beasts may be used for any other service, but ye shall in no wise eat of it. For whosoever eateth the fat of the beast, of which men offer an offering made by fire unto Jehovah, even the soul that eateth it shall be cut off from his people. And ye shall eat no manner of blood, whether it be of bird or of beast, in any of your dwellings. Whosoever it be that eateth any blood, that soul shall be cut off from his people. And Jehovah spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, He that offereth the sacrifice of his peace offerings unto Jehovah shall bring his oblation unto Jehovah out of the sacrifice of his peace offering. His own hand shall bring the offerings of Jehovah made by fire. The fat with the breast shall he bring, that the breast may be waved for a wave offering before Jehovah. And the priest shall burn the fat upon the altar, but the breast shall be Aaron's and his sons'. And the right thigh shall ye give unto the priest for a heave offering out of the sacrifices of your peace offerings. He among the sons of Aaron that offereth the blood of the peace offerings. And the fat shall have the right thigh for a portion. For the wave breast and the heave thigh have I taken of the children of Israel out of the sacrifices of their peace offerings, and have given them unto Aaron the priest, and unto his sons as their portion forever from the children of Israel. This is the anointing portion of Aaron, and the anointing portion of his sons, out of the offerings of Jehovah made by fire, in the day when he presented them to minister unto Jehovah in the priest's office, which Jehovah commanded to be given them of the children of Israel in the day that he anointed them. It is their portion forever throughout their generations. This is the law of the burnt offering, of the meal offering, and of the sign offering, and of the trespass offering, and of the consecration, and of the sacrifice of peace offerings, which Jehovah commanded Moses in Mount Sinai, in the day that he commanded the children of Israel to offer their oblations unto Jehovah. In the wilderness of Sinai, book of Leviticus, chapter 8. And Jehovah spake unto Moses, saying, Take Aaron and his sons with him, and the garments, and the anointing oil, and the bullock of the sign offering, and the 2 rams, and the basket of unleavened bread, and assemble thou all the congregation at the door of the tent of meeting. And Moses did as Jehovah commanded him, and the congregation was assembled at the door of the tent of meeting. And Moses said unto the congregation, This is the thing which Jehovah hath commanded to be done. And Moses brought Aaron and his sons, and washed them with water. And he put upon him the coat, and girded him with the girdle, and clothed him with the robe, and put the ephod upon him, and he girded him with the skillfully woven band of the ephod, and bound it unto him therewith. And he placed the breastplate upon him. And in the breastplate he put the Urim and the Thummim. And he set the mitre upon his head, and upon the mitre in front did he set the golden plate, the holy crown, as Jehovah commanded Moses. And Moses took the anointing oil, and anointed the tabernacle, and all that was therein, and sanctified them. And he sprinkled thereof upon the altar 7 times, and anointed the altar, and all its vessels, and the laver and its base, to sanctify them. And he poured of the anointing oil upon Aaron's head, and anointed him, to sanctify him. And Moses brought Aaron's sons, and clothed them with coats, and girded them with girdles, and bound head tires upon them, as Jehovah commanded Moses. And he brought the bullock of the sign offering, and Aaron and his sons laid their hands upon the head of the bullock of the sign offering, and he slew it. And Moses took the blood, and put it upon the horns of the altar round about with his finger, and purified the altar, and poured out the blood at the base of the altar, and sanctified it to make atonement for it. And he took all the fat that was upon the inwards, and the caul of the liver, and the 2 kidneys, and their fat, and Moses burned it upon the altar. But the bullock, and its skin, and its flesh, and its dung, he burnt with fire without the camp, as Jehovah commanded Moses. And he presented the ram of the burnt offering, and Aaron and his sons laid their hands upon the head of the ram, and he killed it. And Moses sprinkled the blood upon the altar round about, and he cut the ram into its pieces. And Moses burnt the head and the pieces and the fat, and he washed the inwards and the legs with water. And Moses burnt the whole ram upon the altar. It was a burnt offering for a sweet savor. It was an offering made by fire unto Jehovah, as Jehovah commanded Moses. And he presented the other ram, the ram of consecration. And Aaron and his sons laid their hands upon the head of the ram, and he slew it. And Moses took of the blood thereof, and put it upon the tip of Aaron's right ear, and upon the thumb of his right hand, and upon the great toe of his right foot. And he brought Aaron's sons, and Moses put of the blood upon the tip of their right ear, and upon the thumb of their right hand, and upon the great toe of their right foot. And Moses sprinkled the blood upon the altar round about. And he took the fat, and the fat tail, and all the fat that was upon the inwards, and the caul of the liver, and the 2 kidneys, and their fat, and the right thigh. And out of the basket of unleavened bread that was before Jehovah, he took 1 unleavened cake, and 1 cake of oiled bread, and 1 wafer, and placed them on the fat, and upon the right thigh, And he put the whole upon the hands of Aaron and upon the hands of his sons, and waved them for a wave offering before Jehovah. And Moses took them from off their hands, and burnt them on the altar upon the burnt offering. They were a consecration for a sweet savor. It was an offering made by fire unto Jehovah. And Moses took the breast, and waved it for a wave offering before Jehovah. It was Moses' portion of the ram of consecration, as Jehovah commanded Moses. And Moses took of the anointing oil, and of the blood which was upon the altar, and sprinkled it upon Aaron, upon his garments, and upon his sons, and upon his sons' garments with him, and sanctified Aaron, his garments, and his sons' garments with him. And Moses said unto Aaron and to his sons, Boil the flesh at the door of the tent of meeting, and there eat it, and the bread that is in the basket of consecration, as I commanded, saying, Aaron and his sons shall eat it, and that which remaineth of the flesh and of the bread shall ye burn with fire. And ye shall not go out from the door of the tent of meeting 7 days, until the days of your consecration be fulfilled. For he shall consecrate you 7 days. As hath been done this day, so Jehovah hath commanded to do, to make atonement for you. And at the door of the tent of meeting shall ye abide day and night 7 days, and keep the charge of Jehovah, that ye I not. For so I am commanded. And Aaron and his sons did all the things which Jehovah commanded by Moses. Book of Leviticus, chapter 9. And it came to pass on the 8th day that Moses called Aaron and his sons and the elders of Israel. And he said unto Aaron, Take thee a calf of the herd for a sign offering, and a ram for a burnt offering without blemish, and offer them before Jehovah. And unto the children of Israel thou shalt speak, saying, Take ye a he-goat for a sign offering, and a calf and a lamb, both a year old without blemish, for a burnt offering, and an ox and a ram for peace offerings to sacrifice before Jehovah, and a meal offering mingled with oil. For today Jehovah appeareth unto you. And they brought that which Moses commanded before the tent of meeting. And all the congregation drew near and stood before Jehovah. And Moses said, This is the thing which Jehovah commanded that ye should do, and the glory of Jehovah shall appear unto you. And Moses said unto Aaron, Draw near unto the altar, and offer thy sign offering and thy burnt offering, and make atonement for thyself and for the people, and offer the oblation of the people, and make atonement for them. As Jehovah commanded, so Aaron drew near unto the altar, and slew the calf of the sign offering, which was for himself. And the sons of Aaron presented the blood unto him. And he dipped his finger in the blood, and put it upon the horns of the altar, and poured out the blood at the base of the altar. But the fat, and the kidneys, and the caul from the liver of the sin offering, he burnt upon the altar, as Jehovah commanded Moses. And the flesh and the skin he burnt with fire without the camp. And he slew the burnt offering, and Aaron's sons delivered unto him the blood, and he sprinkled it upon the altar round about. And they delivered the burnt offering unto him, piece by piece, in the head, and he burnt them upon the altar. And he washed the inwards and the legs, and burnt them upon the burnt offering on the altar. And he presented the people's oblation, and took the goat of the sign offering, which was for the people, and slew it, and offered it for sin, as the first. And he presented the burnt offering, and offered it according to the ordinance. And he presented the meal offering, and filled his hand therefrom, and burnt it upon the altar, besides the burnt offering of the morning. He slew also the ox and the ram, the sacrifice of peace offerings, which was for the people. And Aaron's sons delivered unto him the blood, which he sprinkled upon the altar round about, and the fat of the ox and of the ram, the fat tail, and that which covereth the inwards, and the kidneys, and the caul of the liver, and they put the fat upon the breasts, and he burnt the fat upon the altar. And the breasts and the right thigh Aaron waved for a wave offering before Jehovah, as Moses commanded. And Aaron lifted up his hands toward the people and blessed them. And he came down from offering the sign offering and the burnt offering and the peace offerings. And Moses and Aaron went into the tent of meeting and came out and blessed the people. And the glory of Jehovah appeared unto all the people. And there came forth fire from before Jehovah and consumed upon the altar the burnt offering and the fat. And when all the people saw it, they shouted and fell on their faces. Book of Leviticus, chapter 10. And Nadab and Abihu, the sons of Aaron, took each of them his censer, and put fire therein, and laid incense thereon, and offered strange fire before Jehovah, which he had not commanded them. And there came forth fire from before Jehovah, and devoured them, and they died before Jehovah. Then Moses said unto Aaron, This is it that Jehovah spake, saying, I will be sanctified in them that come nigh me, and before all the people I will be glorified. And Aaron held his peace. And Moses called Mishael and Elzaphan, the sons of Uzziel, the uncle of Aaron, and said unto them, Draw near, carry your brethren from before the sanctuary out of the camp. So they drew near, and carried them in their coats out of the camp, as Moses had said. And Moses said unto Aaron, and unto Eleazar, and unto Eleazar, and unto Ithamar, his sons, Let not the hair of your heads go loose, neither rend your clothes, that ye die not, and that he be not wroth with all the congregation. But let your brethren, the whole house of Israel, bewail the burning which Jehovah hath kindled. And ye shall not go out from the door of the tent of meeting, lest ye die, for the anointing oil of Jehovah is upon you. And they did according to the word of Moses. And Jehovah spake unto Aaron, saying, Drink no wine nor strong drink, thou nor thy sons with thee, when ye go into the tent of meeting, that ye die not. It shall be a statute forever throughout your generations, and that ye may make a distinction between the holy and the common, and between the unclean and the clean, and that ye may teach the children of Israel all the statutes which Jehovah hath spoken unto them by Moses. And Moses spake unto Aaron, and unto Eleazar, and unto Ithamar, his sons that were left, Take the meal offering that remaineth of the offerings of Jehovah made by fire, and eat it without leaven beside the altar. For it is most holy, and ye shall eat it in a holy place, because it is thy portion, and thy son's portion, of the offerings of Jehovah made by fire. For so I am commanded. And the wave breast and the heavy thigh shall ye eat in a clean place, thou and thy sons and thy daughters with thee, for they are given as thy portion, and thy son's portion out of the sacrifices of the peace offerings of the children of Israel. The heavy thigh and the wave breast shall they bring with the offerings made by fire of the fat, to wave it for a wave offering before Jehovah. And it shall be thine, and thy sons with thee, as a portion forever, as Jehovah hath commanded. And Moses diligently sought the goat of the sign offering, and behold, it was burnt. And he was angry with Eleazar and with Ithamar, the sons of Aaron that were left, saying, Wherefore have ye not eaten the sign offering in the place of the sanctuary, seeing it is most holy? And he hath given it you to bear the iniquity of the congregation, to make atonement for them before Jehovah. Behold, the blood of it was not brought into the sanctuary within. Ye should certainly have eaten it in the sanctuary, as I commanded. And Aaron spake unto Moses, Behold, this day have they offered their sign offering and their burnt offering before Jehovah, and there have befallen me such things as these. And if I eaten the sign offering today, would it have been well-pleasing in the sight of Jehovah? And when Moses heard that, it was well-pleasing in his sight. Book of Leviticus, chapter 11. And Jehovah spake unto Moses and to Aaron, saying unto them, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, These are the living things which ye may eat among all the beasts that are on the earth. Whatsoever parteth the hoof, and is cloven-footed, and cheweth the cud among the beasts that may ye eat, nevertheless these shall ye not eat of them that chew the cud, or of them that part the hoof. The camel, because he cheweth the cud, but parteth not the hoof, he is unclean unto you. And the coney, because he cheweth the cud, but parteth not the hoof, he is unclean unto you. And the hare, because she cheweth the cud, but parteth not the hoof, she is unclean unto you. And the swine, because he parteth the hoof, and is cloven-footed, but cheweth not the cud, he is unclean unto you. Of their flesh ye shall not eat, and their carcasses, not touch. They are unclean unto you. These may ye eat of all that are in the waters. Whatsoever hath fins and scales in the waters, in the seas, and in the rivers, that may ye eat. And all that have not fins and scales in the seas, and in the rivers, of all that move in the waters, and of all the living creatures that are in the waters, they are an abomination unto you, and they shall be an abomination unto you. Ye shall not eat of their flesh, and their carcasses ye shall have in abomination. Whatsoever hath no fins nor scales in the waters, that is an abomination unto you. And these ye shall have an abomination among the birds. They shall not be eaten. They are an abomination. The eagle, and the gyre-eagle, and the osprey, and the kite, and the falcon after its kind, every raven after its kind, and the ostrich, and the nighthawk, and the seamew, and the hawk after its kind, and the little owl, and the cormorant, and the great owl, and the horned owl, and the pelican, and the vulture, and the stork, the heron after its kind, and the hoopoe, and the bat. All winged creeping things that go upon all fours are an abomination unto you. Yet these may ye eat of all winged creeping things that go upon all fours, which have legs above their feet, wherewith to leap upon the earth. Even these of them ye may eat, the locust after its kind, and the bald locust after its kind, and the cricket after its kind, and the grasshopper after its kind. But all winged creeping things which have 4 feet are an abomination unto you. And by these ye shall become unclean. Whosoever toucheth the carcass of them shall be unclean until the even. And whosoever beareth aught of the carcass of them shall wash his clothes, and be unclean until the even. Every beast which parteth the hoof, and is not cloven-footed, nor cheweth the cud, is unclean unto you. Every one that toucheth them shall be unclean. And whatsoever goeth upon its paws, among all beasts that go on all fours, they are unclean unto you. Whoso toucheth their carcass shall be unclean until the even. And he that beareth the carcass of them shall wash his clothes, and be unclean until the even. They are unclean unto you. And these are they which are unclean unto you among the creeping things that creep upon the earth, the weasel, and the mouse, and the great lizard after its kind, and the gecko, and the land crocodile, and the lizard, and the sand lizard, and the chameleon. These are they which are unclean to you among all that creep. Whosoever doth touch them, when they are dead, shall be unclean until the even. And upon whatsoever any of them, when they are dead, doth fall, it shall be unclean. Whether it be any vessel of wood, or raiment, or skin, or sack, whatsoever vessel it be, wherewith any work is done, it must be put into water, and it shall be unclean until the even. Then shall it be clean. And every earthen vessel, whereinto any of them falleth whatsoever is in it, shall be unclean, and ye shall break. All food therein which may be eaten, that on which water cometh, shall be unclean. And all drink that may be drunk in every such vessel shall be unclean. And everything whereupon any part of their carcass falleth shall be unclean, whether oven or range for pots. It shall be broken in pieces. They are unclean, and shall be unclean unto you. Nevertheless, a fountain or a pit wherein is a gathering of water shall be clean, but that which toucheth their carcass shall be unclean. It is clean. But if water be put upon the seed, and aught of their carcass fall thereon, it is unclean unto you. And if any beast of which ye may eat die, he that toucheth the carcass thereof shall be unclean until the even. And he that eateth of the carcass of it shall wash his clothes, and be unclean until the even. He also that beareth the carcass of it shall wash his clothes, and be unclean until the even. And every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth is an abomination. It shall not be eaten. Whatsoever goeth upon the belly, and whatsoever goeth upon all fours, or whatsoever hath many feet, even all creeping things that creep upon the earth, them ye shall not eat, for they are an abomination. Ye shall not make yourselves abominable with any creeping thing that creepeth, neither shall ye make yourselves unclean with them, that ye should be defiled thereby. For I am Jehovah your God. Sanctify yourselves, therefore, and be ye holy. For I am holy, neither shall ye defile yourselves with any manner of creeping thing that moveth upon the earth. For I am Jehovah that brought you up out of the land of Egypt, to be your God. Ye shall therefore be holy, for I am holy. This is the law of the beast, and of the bird, and of every living creature that moveth in the waters, and of every creature that creepeth upon the earth, to make a distinction between the unclean and between the living thing that may be eaten, and the living thing that may not be eaten, and they may not be eaten. Of Leviticus, chapter 12. And Jehovah spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, If a woman conceive seed, and bear a man-child, then she shall be unclean 7 days. As in the days of the impurity of her sickness shall she be unclean. And in the 8th day the flesh of his foreskin shall be circumcised. And she shall continue in the blood of her purifying 33 days. She shall touch no hallowed thing, nor come into the sanctuary, until the days of her purifying be fulfilled. But if she bear a maid child, then she shall be unclean 2 weeks, as in her impurity. And she shall continue in the blood of her purifying 66 days. And when the days of her purifying are fulfilled, for a son or for a daughter, she shall bring a lamb a year old for a burnt offering, and a young pigeon or a turtle dove for a sign offering unto the door of the tent of meeting unto the priest. And he shall offer it before Jehovah, and make atonement for her. And she shall be cleansed from the fountain of her blood. This is the law for her that beareth, whether a male or a female. And if her means suffice not for a lamb, then she shall take 2 turtle doves, or 2 young pigeons, the one for a burnt offering, and the other for a sign offering. And the priest shall make atonement for her, and she shall be clean.